He's fucking done it again. We are live once again, guys. Nice to be back, fellas, isn't it? We took last week off. How are we all feeling?
Good. Really good, mate. You?
Yeah, mate. Very good. Very refreshed after Easter.
Yeah, buzzing to have normal football back. Sack off that international break.
Jesus Christ. I tell you what, we're going to get straight back into it this week because we need to talk about it.
Why do you think I put that Daniel Craig gif up on the post? Mate, it was just a perfect way to announce it. Everyone was there. I asked Kim, like, because the missus sat next to me, and I was like, "Oh, you see this video we done for the 4M1T?" And she went, "Yeah, you can tell it to you." And I was like, "What? So I don't sound like Daniel Craig now?"
At least you look like him, mate. You've got that going for you.
He looks like me, actually.
The right answer. Boys, is Gareth Southgate the man for the job? And before any of you answer that question, anyone that is watching us that's never seen us before, we are 4M1T. And please get involved, get in touch, leave a comment on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not Periscope anymore, Twitch, and we will be sure to have a jolly old discussion. But let's slag off our home nation for a bit. Gareth Southgate, in my opinion, boys, is ruining one of the best generations of players that we've had in a long time. Now, I only watched one of the 3 games over the international break, and it was the last one, and it justified my whole decision of not watching the first 2 because it was so boring.
Yeah, I watched all 3, and I didn't enjoy any of them, to be honest.
No.
I don't know why I do it to myself. I honestly don't know why I do it to myself, lads. But I can't stop myself either. Because we've got so much class in the team. I just think, I'm going to see some brilliance tonight, and then my hopes are dashed every time.
it was that bad. When was it? Was it San Marino we played?
Yeah.
It got to half time. What was it? 4-0. I went to bed 9 o'clock, 9:15. I went off to bed. I went to sleep. I could just cut the arse with it, honestly. And then I don't know why I did it, but then I sat and watched the Albania game, and if I could have nipped off to bed again in the afternoon, I would have done, because that was awful as well. I mean, 2-0 against Albania should be doing honestly miles better than that. But
I don't know how you do it. I saw that we were playing San Marino. You've got fucking no chance of me ever watching San Marino play football. I love football. Not a fucking chance. Next. Not watching Albania either. I didn't even watch Poland. Can't be arsed. If it's not in a tournament, get out of my face.
No, it was honestly like the Poland game was dreadful. That Poland team without Lewandowski are nothing. And we made them look like a genuine threat to us.
Yeah.
How are we going to win the Euros if that's happening?
Well, we're not.
You knew it. You knew it was going to happen. We're playing a team there that, let's face it, they're not great at all. They're just bang average. But because we're used to playing nobodies, when we come up against a bang average squad, they cause us problems. Why is that? It was the same with Croatia in the World Cup. They're not great, to be honest. They're not great at all. We should be beating them. And we're not. We're losing to them. That's the point.
He played 2 CDMs against San Marino, a bunch of farmers.
Mate, this defensive midfielder thing. We shouldn't be playing any central defensive midfielders against San Marino. The formation should just be 11. Just 11 up front, and that's it. I just let him go out and have a training match, and we're playing 2 central defensive midfielders against San Marino. Why? And I know some people. I saw the purist argument on Twitter. Well, we've got to stick to the system realistically that we're going to be employing against the opposition in the Euros. It's San Marino. How about not? Hey, fucking hell. Can we just have one game where we just win 20-0, please?
20-0. Can't do that when there's 6 right backs on the pitch, mate.
Oh God. We'll get into that one in a bit, but
I know, yeah. We've got a lovely graphic up, which I'm going to bang on now, of Southgate's record so far as England manager and his career in total. 43% win record across his whole career. 61.5 for England, which is great, but when you think that, like you said, we're playing farmers all the time, we're not we're not playing anyone, are we? Really, the meaningful games, like you said, losses against France, Germany, Croatia, Belgium. It's teams that I fully expect England to lose to. Like, it's not good enough.
Do you know what the frightening thing is? Yeah, he's got a 61.5% win record there, for England, and it's 43.8 across his career. And you wonder, you think, like, how the bleeding hells it dropped from 60% to 43%. His win percentage in charge of the only club he's ever managed, which was Middlesbrough, right, which we'll all remember back in the day, we're a lot younger, was 29.8%. He managed them for 151 games. They won 45.
Oh, that's appalling. That is appalling.
Honestly.
But the thing that gets me the worst is the under-21s manager is exactly the fucking same, because Aidy Boothroyd can't even get the under-21s. I would argue we've got, apart from France, the best under-21 squad in the world. Yeah. They're all playing at top level in England, apart from Jude Bellingham, who's now in the national squad anyway. And we can't even get through the group stages. How are these men getting in national jobs?
There's been a bit of debate about it this week. Do you agree? And I'm fully on board with this, by the way. Do you agree that the players who are still eligible to drop down from the main squad to be part of the under-21s, do you agree that they should do that to give us the strongest possible chance of winning a tournament? Because I understand it's under-21s, but surely we want to be winning the Euros and the World Cup at under-21s level. Like, that sets you up perfectly for that step up to the national team, to get that experience, to get that confidence behind you, and then go back up. Why are we making Jude Bellingham sit on the bench against Albania and San Marino mostly, when he could be with the under-21 squad? And I'm not using that as an excuse. We should have pasted who we played in the last couple of weeks with Boothroyd, and it's not good enough from the players, and it's not good enough from him. But where do you stand on that? Do you think once you've made the senior squad, you should stay there?
Me personally, I would rather these players be going to semi-finals and finals. Whether it's on the 21 level, like if you're going to sit on the bench versus going to a final, regardless of what it is, a final's a final, like I'd rather them be going there. And then it also gives the senior squad more options. Like Jude Bellingham was taking a place for someone else who could have come into the squad, to give someone else another chance. For him, like, yeah, if he wasn't going to play, he's going to sit on the bench. That's besides the point. But it's just a waste of time. Like, he travelled all that way from Germany to sit on the bench. Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with that personally. I think give ourselves every opportunity, because once these players know what it's like to win a final, they'll want more.
100%. What were you going to say then, Josh?
It slipped my mind now, but I'm of the opinion that they should be playing for the under-21s or under-20s, exactly the same as you boys. I mean, Messi played for Argentina's under-20 squad when he was younger, and I'm sure Aguero did, Di Maria did, and they've not turned out too badly, have they? I know they've not gone on to achieve as much as we would have expected from them for Argentina's national team, but that's because their defence is shit, ultimately. They should have won countless Copa Americas if it wasn't for Chile. And it is true, though, isn't it? And, but I don't think that it does them any harm to work their way up the ranks. That's what they're there for. You know, you qualify for the adult squad when you come out of that under-21 team, I think. You've got the odd player that, you know, is standout at a young age. Like, I look back at Wayne Rooney and, you know, he was a fully grown man at 17, wasn't he, basically? Yeah. But Jude Bellingham, I know he's an athlete, but for me, he still isn't a grown man. He's still got a lot of growing to do. He's tall and lean, but he could bulk up a little bit to make that first team squad for me. Yeah. And even Phil Foden, obviously, he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet for England these days. He probably is for Man City as well. But for me, he's still got a lot of growing to do. He's not fully built as an adult male yet. He's got all the skills there, but he's not fully grown. And I think that that's the whole point of that step, that you're still going through the growing stage. And when you're a fully grown adult male, that's when you're breaking out of the under-21s. And that's when you should make the national team. For me, that's what I think anyway.
I think you're right, but I think as well, like the Rooney comparison is the best one because he was fully grown, but he was first team for your boys and then us, and he was a first teamer for England. Foden's a first teamer for England. Bellingham's not, so why not leave him in the under-21s? I think as well, even in the Premier League, I think the under-23s in the reserve system is completely underutilized. Like, I think there should be a lot more players going down into that. I think the under-23 system needs to be scrapped completely, and I believe there's talks for it to be happening and going back to like a reserve league. I think it should be like, if players aren't playing, I'll talk about him in a minute, but take Jesse Lingard. Why not have a B team? It works very well in Germany and France and Spain, where Real Madrid B team only cannot come into the La Liga because you can't have two of the same team in the same league. But they've been knocking on the door for years. Like, it works in every other country. I don't know why it can't work in England.
Just going back to the under 21s, do they not all train at the same facilities now? Is it St George's Park?
Yeah.
Did they not all train together, the senior squad and the under 21s? Did they not all, combine and do like a training session together? So does it really matter whether they're in the senior squad or the under 21s? I mean, if they're all training together, they're playing, training with the senior players, or doing a mixture of 11 on 11 or whatever against the senior players. Is that not a standard above what they would be coming against at under 21 level? I don't really see any excuse why we should be going out of the group stages, whatever happened recently. But
no.
They should be there. They should be prepared already to be facing players, teams, of such a standard when they're training with pretty much senior internationals anyway. I don't know what exactly has gone on with AD Boothroyd and the under 21s, but maybe it's a wake up call.
I do. He's a shit manager.
Given the success they've had recently, didn't we win a World Cup under 18s or something a few years back?
Under 20s, I think.
Under 20s, I think it was. Yeah, sorry, Josh. Yeah, to go from that to what's just happened recently, it's a bit of a wake up call. Maybe it is a change of personnel as well. But like I say, whether if you're good enough, you're good enough. But whether it's under 21s, the full senior squad, they're all training together, or they should be anyway. And they should be doing a lot better than what they have done.
It's just the same story, isn't it, all the time across all the squads. And if you like on that graphic before that you popped up, Danny, the teams that we've lost against. So Southgate's lost 10 games as England manager, and it just tells you the story. Like we can't, even though we've got the squad to do it, we cannot cut it against the best in the world. We can't do it. And the last two teams on there, why are we losing to Czech Republic and why are we losing to Denmark?
I thought that. I thought that. That's appalling, that really, isn't it? By our standards. And why are we losing to Spain 3 times? Or is
Belgium?
It Belgium? Sorry,
Belgium
3 times.
Belgium 3 times.
Belgium 3 times. Twice in the same tournament.
I know that I know they're FIFA ranked number 1, which I think that their FIFA rankings are a joke anyway. They always have been. But for me, like Belgium, they're just not all that. Like they're a team of individuals that
they should be all that. They should be all that.
But they're not number 1 for me. They're not the number 1 best team in the world at all. It's, France won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Should they not be number 1? Because that is like the tournament you aspire to win, isn't it? Like, and if it's not them, then it's Portugal, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It's ridiculous. Like, in reality, Belgium have got all these stars and they should be the best team in the world. No, in hindsight, in theory rather. In reality, Hal Robson-Kanu sent them all for a McDonald's birthday party. So, I agree with you completely. France should be number 1. That's it. Case closed. They won the World Cup. Case closed.
The worst part was when France won the World Cup, and I think it was like 3 days later the new world rankings came out, and France was second. It's like they've literally just won the tournament of the best teams in the world. How were they not number 1?
That's why they're a joke. That's why it will always be a joke.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with internationals, and this could be, we can blame it on the managers all we want, but the players need to look at themselves as well. I think there's a big thing at the moment where I don't think players are that bothered. We saw that in the England game, like the first team. The names that are playing for the under-21s is honestly ludicrous. Ryan Sessegnon, Eddie Nketiah, Smith Rowe, Oliver Skipp, Tom Davis, Ben Godfrey, Tanganga, Ramsdale. You've got Curtis Jones, Todd Cantwell, Eze, Dwight McNeil, Ryan Brewster. You know, these are all top Premier League footballers.
Well, Ryan Brewster's not, but
well, no, they're all playing in supposedly the best league in the world.
I thought that Ryan Brewster was Welsh.
Just the way he's spelled it.
I did.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
And I will show you this now. That Portugal's under-21 striker is called, not even recognised, Null with a question mark as his picture. So how we can't score and beat Null is beyond me.
Listen, on 2001 Football Manager, R9 was just called default. So sometimes these players can be absolutely classmate and have shit names.
Sensational. Lads, we opened the show up with me doing the famous Jesse Lingard celebration, who has scored another absolutely fantastic goal tonight and had a very big hand in West Ham's second as well, doing an ode to Dimitar Berbatov with his little Berber spin in the corner. It was beautiful. Now, his resurgence in form is causing a lot of uproar online at the moment with, is he going to make the squad? And we have a massive abundance of talent. 4 or 5 here, really, really good cams. He only really plays 1. You can only realistically take 3, maybe 4. Who the hell misses out?
Are we answering from our perspective, or who we know is going to miss out? Because we think we know one at least of those that's going to miss out.
Give me who you think will and who you think should.
Josh, I know you were about to say, so I'll let you go first with that.
I was all for Maddison making the team, but I think that the form of the other players these days might edge him out of the squad now, which is a shame because I do like him. Unfortunately, Leicester just aren't quite putting the performances in, and he's not standing out as much as he maybe did last year. So, I think it might be him.
He's injured. His fitness is going to be a big test.
Yeah. It's only just come back the other day, hasn't
it? You know what? I like the fact that Lingard's got a resurgence in him, but unfortunately, I just think he's had his opportunity now. But then I'm also all in favour of the most informed players making the team. So I'm going to go back on that and say, let's get him in.
Fantastic analysis.
What are you saying, Dan?
I'm similar to Josh. I thought Maddison might have crept in there, but he's obviously been out injured recently, and he's only just coming back. And again, I just think there's other players that are sort of performing at the sort of the right time as well at the minute, i.e. sort of Lingard. He keeps playing Mount. He keeps starting, so I can't see him missing out at all. Grealish, I know he's been injured, but could you argue before his injury, was he playing the best football of his career? Arguably, probably was. Foden, do you leave him out? It's on the balance of things. Yeah, I mean, on the balance of things, I would say Maddison's probably going to miss out of those. I don't know what you two think, Danny, Chris, but I think that would be my player. Unfortunately, they'll miss out on.
Mm-hmm. It's difficult, isn't it? Because it's between what you know is going to happen and what you want to happen.
Like, I think personally, if I'm in Southgate's shoes, he's going to leave out Jack Grealish. He's absolutely going to leave out Jack Grealish. He doesn't like Jack Grealish.
It's a joke, though, isn't it? It's a joke because
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable. He is unbelievable.
He's unreal, and he showed that when he got about 12 minutes in the last international break. Been playing some of the best football of his career. Didn't get on. And when he did get on, he was best player on the pitch.
Just play him as a winger. Just put him on the left wing.
He needs to play left wing. That's where he starts for Villa anyway. He starts on the left wing and then he drifts inside. It's like what Pogba's doing for United to sometimes when he's not fannying around on his own 18 anyway. I like...
Sterling's not all that at the moment, I don't think. I'd have Grealish.
No.
I know he scored yesterday, but he's not had a good season, I don't think, Rashford.
No.
I'd be having Grealish.
My front four would legitimate at the moment be Grealish on the left, if they're all fit anyway. Grealish on the left, Sancho on the right, Kane up front, and then controversially, I would probably start Mason Mount because I think Mason Mount is giving us. Mason Mount's been brilliant for Chelsea again this season, and he's just a workhorse, isn't he? It'd be him or Lingard. Like one of them two have got to start for me. They're the two that are informed the most.
He was excellent against West Bromwich Albion in particular.
Mason Mount is his boy, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like Southgate loves him.
He might as well be his biological fucking son. Fucking hell. He just plays him every week.
He loves him, doesn't he? Just like Lampard loved him.
Yeah.
Southgate loves him. I don't know whether, because I think that Southgate's a bit of a yes man, and that's why he's got the job. And that's why he got in as England manager. I think that maybe Mason Mount's a bit of a yes man as well. And that's why they love each other so much. Oh, just play in this position for me. Yeah, yes, boss. Yes, boss.
to be fair, if it meant playing for England and getting that money at Chelsea, I think I would as well.
Yes, Gaffer. I'll do whatever you want, Gaffer.
What do you do, right? Because I think the question is, there's 5 players there. Does he take 3 or does he take 4? Does he drop one of them or does he drop 2 of them? Because if he drops 1, it's going to be Maddison. It is going to be Maddison that misses out. If he drops 2, Mount's going. We know Mount's going. And Foden's going. Foden has to go. So then you've got the decision between Grealish and Lingard. And because Lingard's been in there for him before and he trusts him and he's shown that by bringing him back into the squad, it probably would be Grealish if misses out. And that is just... Listen, I know Rashford's not had a great season by his standards, but Rashford is still more than good enough to make the England team.
Oh, yeah.
100%. I think him and Grealish are interchangeable on that left-hand side. Like, if you started Grealish, I think Rashford's a fantastic sub to bring on with half an hour of the game to go. And same likewise, Grealish is a great sub to bring on with half an hour of the game to go. Rashford doesn't actually get that much of an impact because he usually starts for United, but... The one time this season playing for United where he's come on as a sub and you've seen how much of a massive impact he can have was a hat-trick against Leipzig. So he can... Rashford's really, really useful to have in and around the squad. I probably would, pluck for Grealish just because I think he's been more consistent throughout the season and he's shining in a team that really shouldn't be shining in Villa, shouldn't be where they are. And a lot of that is to do with Grealish. And when Grealish has gone missing with injury recently, Dave missed him badly, really badly. And it might have cost him a European spot now. But he's probably only going to take 3 in it because he loves his CDMs. And we're probably going to be, looking at the biggest travesty for me since Walcott got picked over Darren Bent.
That was a travesty, to be fair.
That was a rough time, wasn't it?
To not play him as well. What a waste of a seat.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes like fucking 90 defenders anyway, doesn't he? So he's only going to take 3 of these, isn't he?
Well, for me, with these kind of squads, you need players that can play multiple positions. So that's why, I like the thought of Lingard. If I was taking just 3, I'm probably taking Lingard, Foden, and Grealish.
Yeah.
3 players that can play all across the front. Yeah, Maddison and Mount can't drift wide. They need to be in the number 10 position. For me, when you've got a 23-man squad, if you're planning on going deep and if you're going to get injuries, especially with the amount of injuries we've had this season, and players have been dropping like flies. So another tournament on top of that, it's just going to be even worse. You need these adaptable players. That's why Kieran Trippier is an absolute cert for me, because he can play literally anywhere across the back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got this with Trent now at the moment, haven't we? All the kick-off from Klopp and all the Liverpool fans about how can Trent miss out because there's better right-backs than him this season. Why is it so hard for people to comprehend? I can't believe that Trent's missing out on the squad. There's better right-backs than him.
He's just not been good. He's had one good game, and that was yesterday.
Yeah, and fair enough, right? If this is if this is the fire he needed lighting underneath him to get him motivated, yeah. Brilliant, because we've got a tournament coming this summer, and Trent at the top of his game is a great addition to the England squad. But on this season, performances that we've seen, Trent does not deserve his spot in the England squad. He doesn't. There's 4 right backs I can think of who are more deserving than him right now. So if you're so wound up about it, go and prove everyone wrong and force your way back into plans, because the form that you've displayed so far this season, you don't deserve to be in the squad.
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool fans and the media have absolutely creamed the pants this weekend, haven't they? The thought of Trent's finally discovering how to put in a cross again, and Diogo Jota is now signing of the season, even though he spent half the season injured. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Diogo Jota is an absolute fantastic signing, and I thought he was. Jesus Christ, it's 3-0 West Ham.
Who's got that one?
Jared Bowen. She's literally just come on.
Oh, is he? Another great signing.
Yeah.
And another player that could be in the England squad.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't even get a look in, does he?
Not even get a sniff. I saw it all online over the weekend. Diogo Jota is supposedly best signing of the season discussed. And it's like, does Ruben Dias actually play golf, or does no one else watch football anymore?
Yeah.
Jota's been great, and he would be in consideration if he'd been fit all season. But the fact is, he's not. Liverpool haven't scored any goals, and Ruben Dias has been the best signing we've seen come into the league for years.
He was good yesterday.
A nightmare.
Yeah, they were good yesterday though. They came down. I know it's not hard these days, but they pulled Arsenal's fucking pants down. It was a comfortable scoreline in the end. But City got caned 5-2 by Leicester. They brought Dias in, and look at them since.
Yep.
Case closed for me. Really, is that simple.
Liverpool bought Van Dijk and then won the title. City bought Ruben Dias and are going to win the title. Like, if we're talking about top signings and title-winning signings, look no further than them 2 centre-backs.
Yeah.
Liverpool bought Diogo Jota and are now, 6th?
Exactly. But isn't it funny how, we've talked about how Van Dijk might be the best Premier League defender we've ever seen. It's okay to talk about his impact, but Ruben Dias comes in, and then all of a sudden it's, City have just got billions of pounds. Well, they might have billions of pounds, but the vast majority of the money they spent on defenders hasn't really gone well. They've bought this one defender, and all of a sudden he makes John Stones look like prime Franz Beckenbauer. Do you know what I mean? It's night and day the difference he's made to City's defence. They just look impenetrable at times, apart from playing Man United.
We saw what happened to John Stones when he was taken away from Ruben Dias and put next to Harry Maguire. He absolutely shit the bed against Poland, and it was his fault for the goal.
Yep.
Good assist, though, for the second.
Great assist. Fair play to him. I don't like... For me, Ruben Dias is probably my second favourite for PFA Player of the Year. Never mind, he's 100% signing of the season.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Bruno, and I genuinely think that Ruben Dias is probably going to give him a run for his money in these last few games. Yeah. Oh my God, Wolves have just missed a sitter. They're fucked, aren't they, Wolves?
They've fallen off.
They need rollback big time.
They're having a season off. I said it not long ago. They're having a season off. They've just gone, just take a break this season. We'll come back next.
Yeah. Whoever signs, and he might have just missed that sitter there, but whoever ends up signing Pedro Neto is going to be picking up one of the signings of the season next season, because he is the same ilk of Diogo Jota.
Well, is that a better way to describe Jota then? Is Jota not the signing of the season? Is he the bargain of the season? Because for the price they paid for him, he looks pretty good money. Yeah.
Well, he's pushing Firmino out the squad when he's fit. That's only a good thing for Liverpool.
Not hard to do, but continue.
It's made Liverpool fans wake up and realise that a number 9 can link up play and also score goals. I mean, God help them when they see fucking what Karim Benzema can do on Tuesday night.
No.
I think, not to be biased, but an argument for bargain of the season has to go to James, just because he was free.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I'd say Rodriguez is the bargain of the season. We spoke about it recently in the highlight reel we put out last week. But for 45 million, does anyone know Jota's stats for the season? How many goals he's actually scored? How many goal contributions?
And get it for you in 2 seconds, my friend.
Apart from Salah, is he their leading? Is their leading focal point now in attack in terms of stats?
He must be. I mean, he got 2 goals off the bench yesterday.
Well, he has been tremendous for him, and he looked a good player at Wolves. And I am surprised, really, that they let him go for as little as he did. And I don't think they're going to make that mistake again. So when people come sniffing around Pedro Neto, you're not going to see him go for that cheap. I don't think, anyway.
Whatever you think his goal contributions is, it's better. He's played 13 games, he's started 7, and he's got 8 goals.
That is good. I didn't realise he was that good. But
yeah, that's a great return.
That's excellent. Yeah.
It's a shame he's missed half the season.
I mean, no offense to him, I'm glad he has, because he would have contributed to Liverpool being a little bit better. But yeah,
but he would have. I mean, yeah, I think Liverpool will be top 4 if they would have had Jota all season, because even though Salah has been leading the stats all season in terms of top goal scorer, he's been a shadow of what he normally is. Mane's not been great. And Firmino's just been the same as he's always been. But because he's not had the other 2 supporting him, it's just not. Is he 4-0 again?
No, 3-1.
No, 3-1.
Oh, 3-1.
Adama Traore has finally done something.
Yeah.
Took the ball 60 yards and put in a decent cross on his
Bloody
weak
hell.
foot. I can't believe what I'm watching.
Bloody hell. Yeah, I know Jota's not the sign of the season for me. Ruben Dias. I don't know. Dale and Josh, do you think any different? I mean, who else has there really been?
No one.
No. I mean, the ultimate target is to win the league, isn't it? They've brought these defenders in. They're going to win the league. So they're the difference. So they have to be, in my opinion. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Can't argue more than that.
No, I don't think anyone else comes into the conversation, to be honest, in my eyes. You know, Diaz has come in and, well, the defensive record speaks for himself. Since he's come in. And, you know, I don't think there's anyone else that's even in sort of the same sort of discussion with him. But yeah, with Josh in the bargain, you know, James Rodriguez, actual sort of player of the season, signing of the season. Ruben Diaz, easily.
I've got a couple of names, and they're on the pitch tonight. I think Lingard and Souček are 2 that could be considered. Specifically Souček. I think Souček has been absolutely outstanding. I think one of the ones that could be considered is whoever gets in that top 4 spot. If Everton get there, you're looking at James. If West Ham get there, you're looking at Lingard or Souček. If Chelsea get there, it's not with fucking Timo Werner, is it?
No, Christ, that miss against. By the way, North Macedonia. Listen, I'm not great on geography. North Macedonia. When did that happen? It was just always Macedonia. Now it's North Macedonia. What?
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
I didn't know that either. No.
I didn't know they split Macedonia up, but all right. I mean, Macedonia, even as a collection, shouldn't be touching Germany whatsoever. But there you go.
No.
38-year-old football manager legend Gorgon Pandev.
Yeah.
I saw Pandev. I saw his name, and I saw G Pandev, and I was like, "Bloody hell! Like, what a name to go after!" After Goran Pandev. And then I read it was Goran Pandev, and I was like, "He's still playing."
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh, fair play to him.
Unreal.
So I was talking about like whoever gets the top 4 there. The race to the top 4, I think I said it the other day, is mightily hotting up now. We've still got another 4 or 5 teams. We've got a great graphic here of each team who are in the fight for it. You've got points that they're on the moment on the left-hand side, and after the slash is how many games they've got remaining. For me, I think we've got Leicester a dead cert as far as I'm concerned. I like how United are on this list. That's very presumptuous of us that we're going to make it.
We are, Gary. I mean, what we 4 points clear of Leicester now with 8 games. It would take a calamitous fall now for us to fucking miss out on top 4.
Yeah. But I said it the other week. and everyone laughed at me. Liverpool are now only 2 points off the top 4.
I think they've left it too late, personally.
Yeah.
I know they're only 2 points off, but well, firstly, are we all agreed that Leicester are going to clinch third?
Yeah.
Are we all pretty happy assuming that?
I don't know about third. I think they'll make the top 4, but they just seem to me to be on a bit of a slippery run. Let's put it that way. I'm not really convinced with how they're sort of playing at the minute, and I mean the last 3 games of this. Well, you could say the last 4 maybe. They've got Newcastle at home, which could be a big game for Newcastle, and then they've got us, Chelsea, and Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
They could be very defining games. Those last sort of 4 games there, but I think they might just have enough of a cushion to stay in the top 4.
Yeah.
Third, I don't know about third, but I would say they just do make the top 4.
So if they clinch a spot, then that leaves one other spot. And for me, it is between Chelsea, West Ham, and Everton. And the reason why I throw West Ham and Everton in there is because Everton have 2 games in hand. So if Everton win those 2 games in hand, it's in their hands anyway. But West Ham have got a game in hand, and their form has just been amazing recently, apart from when they're playing Arsenal. Spurs and Liverpool have got tricky run-ins. I just don't know if they're going to be able to navigate, especially Spurs. Spurs aren't. Can we all agree that Spurs are finishing 9th?
Just to make those aware who are watching and listening, as Chris was saying, that Everton are for shout, because no one can see our face at the moment. Josh was just sat there shaking his head.
That's because I've just watched us against Crystal Palace, and that's why I'm shaking my face. I think those 2 points we dropped tonight, and the fact that we've got City last game of the season, pretty much stops us from getting it. Like, we needed those 2 points tonight to keep clawing on at it. I know we've got 2 games in hand, but our run-in's not too bad. But like games like tonight are the ones that you need to be getting 3 points from, especially when you've got the lead. It's just typical.
I think I said this. Yeah, I think I said this the other week with your home form. If that would be the one thing stopping you. Again, there's 2 points dropped again tonight.
Yeah.
And against a Palace team, which, be honest, you're probably expecting to get 3 points out of that.
I was expecting 3 points tonight. I was really disappointed that we dropped 2 points, and I just don't think that he's put the squad. He's not had the time to build the squad for top 4 yet. He's working players in, but he's still got a lot of players to force out as well that aren't good enough. That he's inherited. I just don't think we're a top 4 club, and I don't think we deserve it. Our season's been like a roller coaster. The start of the season, we were top, weren't we? We were flying, and then we dropped off. And then we had another little spurt where we pushed up again, and then we lose 2 points like we did tonight, which just sums it up. For me, I don't see us getting it. From what I've seen, Chelsea's the team that I see pushing for that 4th spot now. It'll be between Leicester and Chelsea who gets 3rd.
See, I disagree. I cannot look past West Ham at the moment. I think West Ham. And the only thing that's going to stop them for me now is Declan Rice being out injured.
Yeah, big.
He's out for a month, I believe. Big blow. But half-time against Wolves, they've gone away and they're winning 3-1. And they've lost Antonio to injury and they've still scored another goal. They still are there or thereabouts. David Moyes looks like a man possessed at the moment. He's got them playing like I haven't seen a Moyes team play like this since he was managing your boys.
Yeah.
So they are on the charge. They're currently, as things stand at the moment, will be in 4th by the end of the night. Chelsea.
Go on, Dale.
I was going to say, have you seen the fixture list that them 2 have got, West Ham and Chelsea?
No, I've not.
Oh, the last 4 fixtures for Chelsea: City, Arsenal, Leicester, and Villa.
Unlucky.
Not an easy 4 games, I would say. And then you look at you look at West Ham's
Oh my
last
God.
4. They've got Everton, and then they've got Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton.
Yeah.
I would say they're quite favourable in West Ham's favour.
Yeah. The
they're
focus.
still sort
Go on, Dale.
If they're still there or thereabouts with them sort of 4 games, if they're still sitting 4th, borderline 5th, yeah, I could see West Ham nicking that 4th.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the focus is obviously on Liverpool because he had a decent performance the other night, but they've got Madrid now away. They've got to come back against Villa. Then they've got Madrid again, and then it's Leeds away, Newcastle, United at Old Trafford, Southampton, West Brom away, Burnley away, and Palace at home. So some of those games are decent for them, but some of them, they're going to drop points. I just think it's a really tricky running for Liverpool, and I think they've left it too late. If they had 3 or 4 more points now, I'd probably put them odds on for 4th, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to navigate it.
The European competitions are going to be the X factor, aren't they? Chelsea and Liverpool are both distracted. Spurs out, Leicester out, so they don't have to worry about that. I don't know. I think West Ham might just nick it. I think I'm with you though, Dale. I don't think I'm dead cert on Leicester finishing 3rd. I just don't. I've got visions of last season. They were 3rd all the way and then finished 5th.
Yeah. Well, you look at sort of Vardy's playing he's doing a sort of similar to what he did last season, where after Christmas last season, it was non-existent. On that run of form they went on, after Christmas to the end of the season.
Yeah,
it's sort of similar this season. After second half, after Christmas, I wouldn't be surprised if he scored more than 5 goals, if that. Since then, which, to be fair, they have sort of pulled out results as well. But he's the main striker. He's for them to be sort of up there, he's got to be sort of banging them in. But if he can pick up his form again, then he'll probably easily make it. But it's a bit of a worry for him.
I tell you what, though, he and Acho's not been doing badly at filling in, has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had a great upturn in form, hasn't he?
He's been decent.
Still not better than Rashford, though, is he?
Impossible.
Comparison to all them years. Josh, you said about Chelsea, mate. I want to ask you a quick question. What on earth did you see on Saturday when they got absolutely pummeled 5-2 by West Brom? Made you think that Chelsea are comfortable for top 4?
Well, that was because they had the red card, though, wasn't it?
No.
When you're down to 10. Yes,
I'm gonna let you finish. Sorry, that was very rude of me. Then, I just for some reason I just had this out of body experience. I was just went no, just right across. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Continue, and then I'll tell you why I did that for some reason.
Well, tactically they got it all wrong anyway from the moment that they went down to 10. That's obvious. But I think it's one of those seasons where literally anybody can beat anyone. And if you go down to 10 to anybody in this Premier League, then if you don't set up right, you're going to concede goals, even if it is West Brom. So I'm going to blame the red card and the tactics. But from what I've seen before that, Tuchel and we've spoken about in the podcast, he has got them ticking again. I do think that they've got a strong enough squad there to make sure that they get top 4. But you did mention the fixtures, which I wasn't aware of, and it did make me doubt myself. But if I go back on my word, I'll look like a right numpty. So I'm going to say they're still getting top 4.
Well, the reason... Go on,
Danny. No, all I was going to say was that the other day, because I saw a lot of it on Twitter blaming the red card, it reminded me a lot of Spurs and United when they did us 6-1 and everyone was blaming the red card. We were losing that game. We could have had 15 men on the pitch and we were losing that game. Chelsea were really fucking fortunate to be 1-0 up. It was completely against the run of play. West Brom, Clive Tilsley said it on the radio. It was like watching Brazil. I don't know what happened to West Brom. Some of the goals they were scoring were outstanding. I listened to some of it on the radio and then I thought, fucking hell, West Brom sound like they're playing amazing here, so I'll go watch it on TV. I was like, is this really West Bromwich Albion? they were unstoppable at times. And Chelsea just looked Chelsea. They were just like, what the fuck are we going to do with this? I don't know what it is. I think some teams have bogey teams, and Chelsea's is definitely West Brom.
Well, yeah, they've conceded 8 goals to them this season in 2 games. Honestly, insane. Like, if you'd have told West Brom last season you're going to take 4 points from Chelsea, they'd be fucking laughing. But that's what I was trying to segue to. Is the Great Escape on? Because Big Sam does not get relegated.
He does this season.
Newcastle.
He does this season. I think they're too far behind myself. 8 points behind with 8 games left.
Yeah.
It's. I was thinking Fulham might creep out of this, but they've just seemed to have hit a bit of a spell the last couple of games or so.
Yeah.
Newcastle managed to pull off a decent draw against Spurs there at the weekend. You know, they've got Burnley away next, then West Ham at home. But I think the last game of the season between them and Fulham is going to be a massive, massive game. I think it could go down to that very last game for them too. But I'm probably still going to stick with Fulham. I said Fulham a couple of podcasts ago, and I think you might just do it.
Is the form, a return of form, especially from the international break, of Alexander Mitrovic going to be massive for them? You know, bagged a couple on international, scored again against Villa. Very good goal as well. Unfortunately, they can't. They just leaked 3 goals right at the end, didn't they? But I think Mitrovic needs to keep that form up for them to stay up for me.
It's probably been about 25 games too late, but
yeah,
if he's going to do it, he might as well do it at sort of the business end. You know, when the sort of scrapping at the bottom there. He's got 8 games to try and, you know, if he could get another, I don't know, 4 or 5 goals out of them games, you know, actually win them as well. That's the main thing, actually winning those games. Then yeah, he could do enough in my eyes. I'm just wary of Newcastle are just a bit. They're so inconsistent for me.
Yeah,
you know they've just got a decent draw there at Spurs, but they could easily go and play Sheffield United at home and get beat 3-0 in my eyes. So
yeah,
it's one of them for Newcastle. But yeah, if you had to choose one, I think Fulham might just scrape out of it. In my eyes.
Have you seen Fulham's running though? I've just seen it now. 7 games left. They've got Wolves, which is winnable, but they've got Arsenal and Chelsea away. They've got Burnley at home, which
6 points.
Burnley, never an easy game. Southampton away, United away, and then
3
Newcastle
points.
at home. Last game of the season. Yeah, no, you're probably right. It's tricky games. I'd say with 26 points, I say Fulham, they need to win 4 games out of those 7.
Yeah. 38 points is going to be the minimum, I think.
Well,
I just
the way
think
Sheffield United are going.
Yeah. The way West Brom have turned it around recently, and I'm thinking even back to when we played them a couple of months ago, I don't like looking past Big Sam. He just seems to get aside and keeps them up. Against Chelsea, they were unbelievable. They put up a real fight against Spurs and got a point. Point against us should have comfortably been 3 points against us. Like, we were embarrassingly bad that game.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at them points tallies now. There's 7 behind Newcastle. It seems like a lot, but it's only 2 wins and a draw. And that point that Newcastle got on Sunday against Spurs could end up being absolutely massive, you know.
Well, they got Southampton next, West Brom at home, which if they win that game, that 6 points from 2 games against Chelsea and Southampton, we're going sizzler. Like, something could be about to happen because it only puts them 2 points behind Fulham. So they're hot on their heels then. Fulham have got the added pressure. Newcastle have been looking down behind them down the necks for the entire season. Ever since Newcastle beat West Ham 3-0 at the start of the season, it's just gone sharply downhill since then. It's been so bad. Like, it's just been awful.
Until they gave us a good whipping. Callum Wilson had the bloody game of his season.
Yeah.
He's played Bruce Ball against Spurs twice and got 2 points against Spurs. The first time with the bleeding Dyer handball, which was awful. West Brom, they've got Southampton at home. They've got Leicester away, which Leicester, if you're going to play them anyway, you want to play them at their place because you just don't seem to be able to match their away form. Villa away, Wolves at home. They won the Black Country Derby, if I can remember right, first time this season.
Yep.
Arsenal away, which you never know how it's going to go. Liverpool at home. West Ham at home, and then Leeds away last game of the season. They could win 4 of those games.
Yeah.
They could.
I think we said it a while ago, that final game, Fulham v Newcastle, that is whoever loses goes down, I think. Bring it on. I can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait.
Do we want to repeat that?
We've got to address it now. Josh is going for a shite, everyone. We've got to address it because we all sat there laughing.
Brilliant.
Absolutely unreal. Right, lads. I think we're just at our closing moments now, really, aren't we? The one thing I did want to talk about, and I didn't want to talk about him too much, because we're going to talk about him in like a European show later on, was Erling Haaland, and mainly Borussia Dortmund, because they are right in the mud at the moment. And one of their players is my dick of the week, which I'm going to bring up later. But the owner and the CEO today has come out and said, they're going to try and do the best to keep Haaland next season. And if Sancho gets any offers, they'll be willing to listen. It sounds like they're preparing for the inevitable this summer.
Oh, mate, they have got a full-blown DFS sale going on this summer. It's going to be 75% off all items this summer, I'm telling you. Thinking about the fact that they could have got 90 million for him last year.
Yeah.
We offered it to him. I think it was in 91 million or something along those lines.
We went in like 95, I think. I think that's what we went up to.
They could have got that, and they'd be lucky if they get 60, 70 for him there, because Sancho has not had a great season. So much so that, and I know he's picked up recently over the last couple of months, he could miss out on England.
Nah, I think his form recently is enough to bring him in, personally.
I do as well, but
since his new coach has come in, I think he's really he's found his form again.
Yeah.
But under the back end of Lucien Favre's tenure, he was genuinely dreadful. But they all were.
Yeah, they all were. You can't just blame him, obviously, but Haaland's definitely going in it. I mean, his waste of space agent has been flying here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's happening. But I do I know Guardiola, a lot of people have been saying he'd come out this week and made his comment about not being able to afford, just as like a smokescreen. But I do genuinely think that City aren't going to pay the sums that are being thrown about. Haaland wants 30 million to himself. Raiola wants 30 million to himself. What else do they want? Do you want a 10 million? I don't know, pair of trainers. Do you want a new house? Do you want a new house? Do you want a maid 3 times a week on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Saturday? Like all these mad demands that have been coming out with. Madness, absolute madness. How you can ask for that as well? What does Haaland need 30 million for? You're getting paid like 300 grand a week. Is that not enough? What does Raiola need 30 million for? What the fucking hell have you done? Does he really need Raiola to come in? Like a club's going to come in and go, we want to give you 100 grand a week. And Raiola's going to turn around to him and go, no, we want 300 grand. And then they're going to be like, you know what, you're right. What does he need to be there for? I don't understand this agents thing, but it's a long conversation for another day. Yeah. I don't think City are going to pay it. There's something says to me that I just don't think they're going to get involved. I don't know what you think.
I hope they don't.
Yeah, so do I personally, but
I really hope they don't. Like they're there obviously now at the moment, and he's like, there's a great video of him and Jude Bellingham walking like onto the pitch, getting snapped by the paparazzi, and he's just walking out like, oh, this is beautiful. It's like, oh, no, please, no, we don't need it.
It's interesting. What do you think, Dale? If you were going to choose one place for Haaland to be next season, where's he going to be?
Well, from what I've been reading, it's in Barcelona. But again, will they be able to afford him in sort of the situation they're in at the moment? Their financial difficulties and obviously what's going on there is kind of, well, I say it was kind of a rebuild, but they're still challenging for a title there over in Spain. So I can't see City not being interested. With Aguero leaving in the summer, I don't care what Pep says. They're not looking for a striker. You can't have one striker. In Jesus for the entirety of next season. It just makes no sense to me. I mean, I know they play the false nine sometimes, but to pass up on an opportunity of potentially the next, world-class striker, I think they'd be silly. But can we get him?
I don't think we can.
Would he want to come to United?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I know there's obviously the connection there with Ollie and that, but if I was to choose maybe one now, just with what I've read and stuff, it'll be Barcelona. Yeah. I know they're in financial difficulties, but that seems to be the one that's making moves at the minute, or more moves than anything else.
He's so good, isn't he? I mean, he's that good that even the most staunch Ollie out advocates are thinking to themselves, maybe we can put up with him for one more season. just one more season. If he can secure Haaland, just one more season. Haaland's not coming to United. I've already faced it as a United fan. I think Sancho is doable. I think he's a United player, and I think we'll sort him this summer. But I don't think Haaland's happening. He's going to Madrid. He's going to Barca, or he's going to City. PSG I've heard, but no, can't see that. Chelsea, get in the bin with that. He is not going to Chelsea. Why would he go to Chelsea? Why would he? He's seen what their last foray into the German transfer market's like, and I bet he's thinking, no thanks.
I just got some mad flashback then of you saying, I think we'll get Sancho done. Like, it just feels like I heard that 12 months ago.
I know. I was listening to the old podcast recently, and Lee, half an hour before transfer deadline day is about to run out, Sancho could still happen if he's left. If he left the house about an hour ago and he does his medical over FaceTime, it could happen, Do
you remember when he was spotted in London because he was at like Tammy Abraham's birthday or something? It's like, he's coming to England, he's coming to sign for you now. He's like, nah, he's just partying and breaking COVID rules, mate.
Just partying, mate. It's no worries. The outside one for me is Haaland to Bayern. I always thought that might be the one.
Yeah, so I was about to speak about that then. Because Fabrizio Romano has come out and said the Bayern just aren't interested. They've still got a few years left on Lewandowski, haven't they? And you don't drop the best number 9 in the world for the second best number 9 in the world when you've still got years left in him. Nor will Dortmund wait to sell if they know they can get the money for him now.
But you would try and pair him though.
No, I don't think they'd work together. I don't think they'd work together at all.
Oh, mate.
I couldn't see it.
Do you not think they'd be like York and Cole on Trenbolone?
They'd be like chalk and cheese, mate. That's what they'd be like. They'd be getting in the fucking each other's way all the time.
Oh, God, it was good to think about, though, innit?
Oh, it'd be amazing to watch, but yeah. I don't think Bayern are interested. If it was another late in the season and a half, 2 seasons later, and Lewandowski was, final season, then I think it would be a dead cert. He'd be going to Bayern Munich. But I think it's very clear that he's probably leaving this summer. I think Dortmund are admitting defeat there, that it's done. They've got what they wanted out of him. They've had an amazing 18. Like, he's only been there 18 months. Did we forget that? They snapped him up 18 months ago for 22 mil. Like, absolutely unbelievable player. They'll easily get 150 for him. if they play it right. Because they need to get rid of him this season, otherwise that €75 million release clause comes in next year. So if they want to cash in, they need to cash in this year.
Well, I mean, he was at, is it Salzburg he was at originally?
Yeah.
He's gone from Salzburg where he was bossing it. The move to Dortmund was throwing him in the deep end. Like, we're going to throw you in the deep end and we'll see how you get on in a major league, in the Champions League, and everything else by extension of playing for Borussia Dortmund. And instead of sinking or floating, people thought he'd do either or, they've thrown him in the deep end, and he looks like Michael Phelps. He's just started doing backstroke straight away and just fucking gone with it. The guy has been unbelievable. He's been banging in all sorts of goals. He can just do it all. He's good in the air. He's good with both feet. He's quick. He's strong. He's confident. Like we were just talking on the last podcast about how in the Champions League, he missed that penalty. That could have got to other players, but come back, the keeper was off his line. He took the penalty, gets in the keeper's face. Like, he's just got everything that you want of a top class striker. He's going to be the best in the world. It's going to be him and Mbappe, like Ronaldo and Messi for the past 20 years, for the next 20 years or so.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just who gets him. Yeah.
I can't wait. But if he goes to City, I can wait, because I'm not ready for that.
If he goes to City, then we should just start a rugby podcast like Lee wants.
For me, being selfish and being the Spanish football lover that I am, my ideal scenario is Mbappe goes to Madrid and Haaland goes to Barcelona. Like, I think that, just recapture that Ronaldo versus Messi again. I think that would be unreal. But then again, we've also got Harry Kane in the mix. Because there's no way he stays. Yeah, I think if we don't get Haaland, I think we'll get Kane.
No. Kane, Daniel Levy, he said he's not going to sell him for less than 175 million. He's not going to sell him for less than 175 million. Harry Kane, he's staying at Spurs till he dies.
Is that fucking... It's a Simpsons meme, isn't it? Just to remind you, you're here forever.
The only thing that's going to be on Harry Kane's record by the end of his career is Champions League runner-up, Carabao Cup runner-up, and broke Jimmy Greaves' record. They're the only things he's ever going to do in his career. He's never leaving, mate.
He'll break Shearer's record as well. I'm pretty certain of that.
Probably.
Sorry, Lee, but he will.
What, for Premier League goals?
Yeah.
Shearer's Premier League record? No, no chance.
Yeah, he will.
Not unless he moves. Not unless he moves.
That's why I think he'll break it, because I think he'll move.
He has to. He has to. He needs to learn from previous players that haven't moved and won absolutely zero. He needs to learn from them. If he wants to be somebody who went down as a legend, an English legend, and we've not had one, for a while. Well, you could say Wayne Rooney, but I don't think people consider him to be a legend. It might be a bit too soon for that, but I think Shearer is probably the last legend, maybe, for me.
That is a long discussion.
Go on. I'll open that can. Go on.
No. We'll wait for that one. Can
I just chip in with the transfers as well? Barcelona are not buying Haaland. They haven't got the money. They're £1 billion in debt. They're going for Aguero because he's Messi's best mate and he's on a free. Done.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, I can buy that as well.
That's why they're getting Wijnaldum on a free, because they've just not got the transfer funds there. Wijnaldum on a free, Aguero on a free. And wouldn't that be something
20 million?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something special, though, to see Aguero and Messi finally playing together at club level?
Yeah.
Aguero, mate, Premier League legend, better than Alan Shearer. Works for all parties.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's been some threads about Aguero recently, and the stuff that lad has done. We'll talk about it at the end of the season, because I think he deserves an appreciation post.
Yeah.
Fuck me, what? And the only thing I think about is I just wish he wasn't as injury prone as he was, because he would have gone down in absolute history if he'd have been fit for all them seasons. Top striker.
Yeah. He'll always be in the mix with your Shearers, your Henrys. He'll always be up there for me with those lot.
Yeah, 100%. Right, boys, it's time.
You know what? Under 18s, we're furloughing you. No, it's just not something you do.
No.
Not that week. Here we go. Oh, dickhead of the week.
Dickhead of the Week.
I just love it so much.
This is so good.
Great, isn't it?
So good. Dickhead of the Week. We didn't have one last week, guys, because we weren't live. We were highlight reeling instead, weren't we?
We were the dickheads of the week last week.
We were the dickheads of the week for last week. We will happily take that one. So if you want to nominate something for either last week or this week, I'm absolutely all right with that. Mm-hmm. But does anyone have anything they want to kick off with? Because I'll be honest, I've got a fair few that I can reel off.
Oh, God,
a lot's happened. A lot has happened.
You lot go on.
I'll kick off.
Go for it, mate.
I'll kick off my dickhead or dickheads of the week. Basically FIFA and the referees in the Portugal and who was it? Serbia game.
Game, yeah.
For that absolute farce of a goal that wasn't a goal. How FIFA have allowed a match in the first place to be played at a stadium where they don't facilitate goal line technology or VAR, in a World Cup qualifier is, beyond me. I'm gobsmacked at that decision. How that's come about, absolutely no idea, but dreadful decision making on FIFA's behalf. And obviously the referees, linesmen, how the fuck you can't see a ball that's gone past the line by about 10 foot? I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Ronaldo walks off, strips his, captain's band off, throws it on the floor, has a paddy. Do you know what? So we should. That was an absolute disgrace of a decision at the end of that game. They'll probably be comfortable and get through the group anyway, in my eyes. But if 10 months and in sort of that will come back and haunt every personnel at FIFA and the officials on the pitch at that time. Absolute joke in my eyes, that. So that's my nomination for this week.
Dale's so angry his internet started breaking.
just a side note on that as well. The armband for nomination for Legend of the Week is the person that picked it up and decided to charity auction it and raised £54,000 for charity. I think it's paid for. I can't remember what it's paid for. I remember. It's gone to 6 months old Gareth Southgate, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Is paying for spinal muscular atrophy. So
excellent,
brilliant. All's well that ends well.
54 grand. Someone could have taken that armband and just slips in the back pocket, never seeing it again. But fair play whoever picked it up and auctioned it off. It's brilliant work, that.
I've just sorry lads, I've just got a phone call coming through. Right. Hello. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll tell him. Right, cheers. I was Roy Carroll. Even he thought I was over the fucking line.
Oh, for fuck's sake, that's brilliant. Roy Carroll.
Dickhead of the week.
Go on, Josh. You got anything?
It might be controversial, actually, because I can see two elements to this one. I was going to say Curtis Jones for his reaction after England got knocked out of the Under-21 Championship. Even though they won, they needed to win by 2 goals, for anybody that didn't know. They didn't. And after the game, I think for some reason he had like a bloody nose. I don't know what that was about. I presume a bust up during the game, and might even be the reason why he got sent off. But all I saw was the bust up, and it just seemed a little bit childish and petty. But on the flip side of that, it's passionate of him. And I like that element, the passion for England and wanting to win and the competitive edge that you need as a national player. But I don't know, maybe it's because I'm an Evertonian and I don't like Liverpool and he's a Liverpool player. Maybe just part of me just thought, I don't like that. I just think you're a bit of a dickhead for that. Grow up. But then, it is passionate. So it might be a weak nomination from me this week, unfortunately.
I didn't even know it kicked off.
Yeah, he proper kicked off at the end of the game. Yeah, proper kicked off. I don't know. I'm with you. Like it for me as a sports player, you've got to go out there and set an example. Be passionate until that final whistle's blown, and then have a go at the refs, talk whatever, but don't be kicking off. Like, just don't be a knob.
It's not going to change the result, is it? You're knocked out of the competition. If you're upset, then save it for the changing room and blow off some steam, ranting and whatever. But
yeah,
he was trying to dampen the spirits of the players that had just beaten them. They're not going to be bothered about you having your little tantrum. They've just knocked you out. They're through to the next stage. They're winners. They're through.
Yeah,
that's
get over it.
Yeah, get over it. Grow up.
Get over it. And be better.
Yeah. We've discussed it earlier on. They should have gone through. They didn't. They weren't good enough. It's the management. It's the players. They both need to take a look at themselves. But I just didn't like that reaction personally. So I did think he was a bit of a dickhead. Plus, I think he's a dickhead anyway. So
I like it. Go on, Chris.
It can't be anyone other than Aidy Boothroyd, can it? It's got to be Aidy Boothroyd. And it was already Aidy Boothroyd before Aidy Boothroyd decided to open Aidy Boothroyd's mouth and say that the under-21s job is utterly impossible, I think he said.
Yeah.
It's only impossible when you're a shit manager, mate. That's when it's utterly impossible. So technically, you're full of shit. But technically, you're right. For you, it's utterly impossible because you're shit. So Aidy Boothroyd, you are my dickhead of the week.
Phenomenal. Right, let me get rattling here.
Here we go.
Mino Raiola for demanding 20 million euros for a transfer.
Stop the camp.
Correct.
Mino Raiola, he's a winner. I'm overriding Dale this week.
Number 2, Gerard Romero for calling Mino Raiola during a Twitch live stream, questioning on all his antics.
Brilliant.
Number 3.
I quite like that though.
Mino Raiola for throwing a hissy fit on said Twitch call. Which means to tell me that everything he's asked for is true, because if he didn't throw a hissy fit, if it had just said no, it's not true, it would have been all right. But the fact that he threw a hissy fit, and I mean a paddy, he's definitely asked for 20 million euros. He's just generally, it's just a knob, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jose Mourinho, same coach, different players. Once again, throwing your team under the bus after a really, really poor performance because you are a fossil and cannot adapt to the new game. Gareth Southgate for playing 2 CDMs against San Marino.
Brilliant.
Juan Torres Ruiz for being a racist piece of shit in the Valencia versus Cadiz game.
Yeah.
What happened there then?
Juan Torres, in the words that I'm reading right now, called him a shitty black.
Right. What was... Because it was last night, wasn't it?
Last night before, yeah.
So what happened after he said those...
So what happened is...
Did it kick off?
Yeah, so Diakabe told the referee, and the rest of the Valencia players found out about it, and they all walked off the pitch.
Good on them. I love that.
Good on them. Yeah. This is where my next dickhead of the week comes, and this is probably my main nomination, is the fact that the referees team then went and told Valencia's captain, Jose Gaya, that if you don't go back on this pitch, you forfeit 3 points. No. Fuck off. Stop rewarding racism.
Yeah.
If someone has done that, take the 3 points off them.
Yeah.
No, it's wrong.
Yeah.
The players have done right there. We're in empty stadiums. Everyone can hear it. I'm not saying by any means do it in a full stadium, because you can kind of get away with it. No, don't do it at all. But don't think you're going to get away with it in an empty stadium. You're not getting away with shit in an empty stadium. You can't get we hear them swearing on all the time on the commentary. But don't tell a team that you're going to get punished if you don't go back out there. One of your players has just been racially abused, which must be one of the worst things that you can have as a player. And you've been told, if you lads don't go out there, you're going to lose this game. And the poor lad, he has to be substituted. Like he asked the manager, can I be substituted when they all go back out there? Because he just wasn't mentally ready to go back out.
How's that fair?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's
How's
bollocks.
that fair? Why should the team be punished? And why should you be punished by having to miss the game for some piece of shit who ban him? Just ban him for life. Do you know what? If you don't want to play a sport, if you are that way inclined, where you just cannot fathom being in and around working amongst people who might be a different colour to you, it's not for you. It's not for you. So retire, and fuck off. And go and find something to do on your own, or with other people who are filled with hatred, just like you are, because football's not for you, mate. And you shouldn't be allowed the platform to play football. And there shouldn't be referees going into Valencia saying you got to go out or you're going to get punished. How are you going to punish me and punish my team for something that he said, which has no place in any age, let alone 2021? I'd
ban the referee for that.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the referee because the referee was probably under rules from the Spanish FA there. And I would not want to be the person that has to deliver that rules. But at the end of the day, it is that referee's game. He could have made a decision. And that goes down to the issue we've got the English refs as well, that none of them have got any balls anymore. None of them will take a decision into their own hands. At the end of the day, the referee is responsible for that 90 minutes of football. If racism has been on that pitch and the team has walked off, abandon the game. Even if you want to abandon it, because it happened in the 29th minute, abandon it, replay the 60 minutes in another week or so. If you really don't want to forfeit someone on the team. But Cadiz should have been forfeited in that game there. I'm sorry, I'm not having it.
There's got to be a way we can pick this out. Like I don't know whether it's microphones or what it is, but there's got to be a way that we can start to.
Yeah.
Is that the third time now in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's happened. There's another one I've just seen now while scrolling through Reddit. There's been another one in I think it's the Russian league.
Well, that doesn't shock me.
No,
it doesn't really shock me in the Spanish league either. To be honest, we've had it before in Spain.
Do you not remember when Dani Alves had bananas thrown at him and he just sat there fucking eating?
That's what I was thinking about, the Dani Alves one.
Yeah,
awful. I mean, I think the humorous side of what he did there, he shouldn't have to do it. First of all,
no, that's the point.
Because Dani Alves is he's got banter about him. We've seen it on his social media. The guy has got screw loose. Yeah. But he reacted in that scenario very differently to how most people would have done. He shouldn't have to do something like that. He shouldn't have to put up with that.
No, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. You're right. Like, fair play to him, because that is a very horrible scenario. And what he's managed to do is figuratively turn around and stick the middle finger up at that crowd and be like, you're not affecting me. But he shouldn't have to do it.
No.
He shouldn't have to do it. But yeah, racist dickhead is my main dick of the week. But I've got one funnier one as well. And this is any FA that's playing last season's tournaments this year as well.
Oh,
because
Oh,
I was confused as all hell why Barcelona had beat Sevilla and got to the Copa del Rey final, and yet on Saturday night I learned that the Copa del Rey final was Sociedad versus Bilbao. And I could not, for the bleeding life of me, figure out what the hell was going on until I realised that they were playing 2020's final on this week, and then in 2 weeks they play 2021's final, which ironically also has Bilbao in it. So they've got instant chance at redemption.
Yeah.
It's like Salford, isn't it? Like, it the Papa John? Was it the Papa John's trophy that Salford won?
Yeah.
Fucking and then they lost it to Sunderland the next day. Like, you wouldn't even have time to give them the trophy. Like, sorry lads, here's some garlic bread this year. We'll see you next year.
Yeah,
like,
it's a trophy for not even 24 hours, and you've got to hand it over straight away. Oh God, yeah. But do you know what? Little legend of the week as well would be Ilkay Muniain, who stood out and watched the whole celebration of Sociedad and applauded it and took losing like a man.
Classic.
I like little bits of sportsmanship like that. Going back to the Curtis Jones thing, that's setting an example. That shows that you can be gracious in defeat.
Yeah, exactly.
Bilbao gets to these finals. Yeah, Bilbao gets to these finals like few and far between. Like, all right, they're in 2 in 22 days or whatever it is. But like, they're not a massive club, Bilbao. We all know that. I think Bilbao's success story is incredible, only signing Basque players. So they're working. They limit themselves from the get-go. They've got there. They've lost. Okay, appreciate it, respect it, go again. Curtis Jones, lose. I'm going to scrap. You Scouse cunt.
And I think if you draw comparisons to the rugby as well, because I saw this the other week in the rugby Six Nations, I can't remember who the teams were, but at the end they stand either side and they just clap them off,
like a guard of honour.
Yeah, exactly like that. But they clap them off and then they swap, and the other team claps them off, and they do that all the way through to amateur level as well. Yeah. Like the standard that me and Lee have played, you do that in that as well. So if you start at grassroots and work your way up, it sets the standard then. And that's unfortunately what I think is wrong with football. Obviously, Curtis Jones has never really learned how to be gracious in defeat like the rugby players have. Whereas if they had done at such a young age, maybe we wouldn't be seeing him having his little tantrum.
Yeah.
So I think this, when you draw the comparison to other games that like they know much better, there's just a huge lack of respect in football, unfortunately.
Yeah, fully agreed.
Yeah.
In that case, then Dale, you've got about 1 million to choose from there.
I'll be honest, Danny, you've just whipped out God knows how many there, and I completely agree with all of them. The winner has got to come from one of them. I'll say the winner. It's not the winner, is it? It's just
the dickhead.
It's the dickhead.
Yeah. And just remind me of that player again for was it Cadiz?
Juan Torres Ruiz, I believe his name was.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Disgrace. Absolute disgrace. The Spanish FA need to fine him, ban him, suspend him, whatever, and a significant amount as well, amount of time. And that was an absolute disgrace. And a complete fair play to Valencia and the players for trying to make a stance there and walking off the pitch as well. It can't be tolerated, in the game, in society whatsoever, those sort of actions and behaviour. So, and the referee, if that's true, what he's been told and what he's done, gone into the dressing room as well. I mean, you could sort of throw him in there as well. I mean, whether he's under some sort of authority by the Spanish FA or whatever to get the game restarted, but I mean, Valencia had every right to just, not bother with that at all after what happened. So, dickhead of the week goes to that player.
What's his name again, mate?
Yeah, what's his name again?
He doesn't even deserve.
He don't deserve naming. No.
And you know what? That referee. Can I just say, if you applied pressure on me. If that's what's happening and I'm the referee, and I'm not just saying this, if I lose my job, I lose my job over it. I'm not doing it.
No,
I'm not doing it. I am not going into that changing room and telling those players, I know what's just happened, but if you don't go out there, you're going to forfeit 3 points. I'm not doing that. There's not a chance. There's no way. And we need more people to it's not going to cure the problem, right? But we need more people to start doing the right thing. Otherwise, this is just never, ever, ever. It's going to keep rearing its ugly fucking head, isn't it? So,
could you imagine being in work just like a normal office job and getting racially abused, and then your supervisor coming over to you and being like, "Yeah, I know you've just had that, mate, but go on, mate, get back on the phone."
Yeah, I need that report by 5 o'clock still. Otherwise, I'm going to dock you. It's just madness. So why is it okay in football?
It's not.
It's just not, is it?
Simple as it's not. But to end on a higher note as well, I really hope it was Valencia. I really hope it was Valencia.
I feel like it was Cadiz.
2-1, I think it was.
That's a bitter pill to swallow. That they don't deserve it.
No,
give Valencia the 3 points.
Yeah,
the heads were probably not in it after they come back after they'd walked off.
Mm.
You wouldn't be up for it at that point, would you? You just want to kick shit out of them.
Well, just before we end the podcast, we just had a great comment come through there Ref should defo stop the game. Wonder what Sky Sports' reaction would be if that happened here.
Well, we saw it with the PSG game, didn't we?
Yeah.
PSG and bleeding hell, who are they playing now? Turkish lads that beat us. Istanbul.
Başakşehir.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Like the thing, like, and that's where I feel sorry for pundits, really, because they are put in a horrific situation. Because we, as a pundit, I bet most of them are like us. They'd want to slag off everyone, like we can do here on this platform. But they still have to be PR safe, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, they still have to not insult anyone. Like, as a pundit, you've got to be so careful when it comes to what you say. And it shouldn't be like that. If something's happened like that, Roy Keane should be able to come out and call him a fucking disgrace.
I don't know how they do it on BBC on Match of the Day. I really don't know how they don't just say, you know what, fuck you with your PC and your PR and what have you. I'm going to say what I think here.
Yeah.
And I as a viewer would not judge them for that at all. I'd be applauding them, saying, well done for taking this stand.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. It's a tough job. It's a difficult job to do, like you said, mate.
And that's why none of us will ever be on Sky Sports.
No. We don't belong on Sky Sports.
We're going to bite our tongue.
No.
Oh,
we don't belong on Sky Sports.
In that case, boys, does anyone get any other parting words before we ride off into the sunset?
No, just that I didn't win Dickhead of the Week again, but this week I'm going to let it slide because that one was much more worthy than anything that I could come up with.
Hey,
I just want to say it's a real pleasure to be back after the international break, boys. Thank God we're back.
Oh, yeah.
Praise the Lord for
them
domestic
international
football.
breaks, guys.
But bring on the Euros. 6 at the back. It's coming home.
Yes.
I don't even want that, mate. I just want the World Cup. The Euros can fuck it up.
Yeah, fuck the Euros, mate. Yeah. It's like Copa Americana. Like, who cares?
Copa Americano.
Yeah.
Right. From
like
myself.
I was going to say, it's like the Carabao Cup. Who fucking cares? We're still waiting for that fucking one to be scrapped, but there you go.
City. They care. City are the only team that fucking care about it.
The Man City Cup.
From myself, Dale, Josh, and Chris, we have been 4M1T. Follow us on all our socials. We are 4M1T on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Search for 4Max1 Toffee. Please try and get us to 100 subscribers so we can change that bleeding name.
Yeah, no.
Correct. Please.
It's like youtube.com/get.
And that is us. Have a great evening, everyone. Stay safe and see you next time.
Bye, guys.